It's the 7th of March. This is Rabbi First, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi Tetzaveh.
Thank you, Lou. As Lou mentioned, this is Rabbi Shlomo First here, Shiva Samanavsi, Yerushalayim Care of Zoom. Yes, we're learning Parsha Hashavua, Tetzaveh, Erev Shabbos, Toshin Pei, 1 week from Purim. Okay, let's direct our attention to begin with that there are some points to be made over here. Good. That would be, I could start in Perek Chaf Tes, Lamed Vav. Yeah, I guess. Actually, maybe we'll start a bit before that. Just talking about the, yeah, good. Okay, yeah. Lamed Vav, right? Lamed Vav. Perek Chaf Tes 29, Pasuk Lamed Vav.
Okay, 29 or 28?
Chapter 29.
So Chaf Tes.
Chaf Tes, correct.
Okay, Chaf Tes 36. Okay, let's see. Chaf. Let's see. Lamed Vav, did you say?
Yes.
Okay, so Lamed Vav is Upar Chatas Taaseh Liyom Al Hakipurim V'chi Tesa Al Hamizbeach B'cha Percha Alav Umasachta Oso Lekadsho. Okay, so let's see. And a bull sin offering you shall make for the day of Hakipurim. It says cleansings. Is that correct, or is it Yom Kippur?
No, it's a Yom Kippur. It's not Yom Kippur, but it's a Yom of cleansing, right? It's a Day of Atonement.
Day of Atonement. So is that the same as Yom Kippur?
No, that's, I think we're going to hopefully see that in Rashi. Hold on.
Or day for cleansings. You shall purify the altar. When you cleanse it, umasachta, and you shall anoint it to make it holy.
Right. Very good. Now, okay, before we get into the Rashis by us, why don't you go back to the first pasuk in chapter 29, just to we'll get a picture of what's being talked about here, so we hopefully won't make that confusion between Yom Kippur and what's being talked about over here.
Okay. Okay. B'zeh hadavar asher ta'aseh lahem likadesh oso lekahen li lekach par echad ben bakar ve'elim shnayim temimim. Okay, and this is the thing that you shall do for them to sanctify them for Kohanim, to me.
Right.
Uh,
This whole parsha here is the inauguration of the Kohen. After what's happened now, you have the Mishkan having been built, the Kalim constructed, the big day Kahuna fashioned, everything's all ready to go, right? So now you would think, well, let's get started. Let's just jump into it. Hashbon says, no, we're not jumping into this. We have to make some preparations for all this to get started. Now, you're not going to just jump into doing this the avoda here in the Mishkan. So you have to do all these things, and like we're starting over here in Pasuk Lamed Vav. There's a lot of discussion that Moshe Rabbeinu is given a lot of things which have to be done over here, right? So this is all preparation for the inauguration of not just the Kohanim, but also the Kalim and the Mishkan itself.
right. Right. Okay, should I go back to where we were?
Yeah, let's go back to Lamed Vav, and let's see the Rashi there.
On Lamed Vov. Let's see. A bull sin offering shall you make. L'chol yom, each day, for each day. I'll
Right. We're gonna see in the next pasuk Lamed Zayin. This is gonna go on for 7 days.
right. Al ha ki purim, for the cleansings. This means bishvio ha kippurim, for the purpose of the cleansings.
Yeah, or the atonements. Yeah.
L'chaper al ha mizbeach mikol zarus v'tius shene'emar shiv'as yamim timalei yadam. Okay, so to atone for the altar from all. Okay, so zarus, it says alienism. V'ti'uv, it says repugnance. To atone or to cleanse from alienism and repugnance. Because it says, for a 7-day period, you shall Timale is to inaugurate them. Timale, to elevate them.
Yeah, that's usually they're being now going from a status of not serving Kadosh Baruch Hu in a special way, and they're now being inaugurated into the elevated status of being Kohanim, active in the service of the base of the Mishkan here in the Mishkan.
Ein li ela davar haba bishvilam. I have evidence only for that which comes for the inauguration of the Kohanim themselves. Kagon ha-elim v'ha-lechem, such as rams and bread. such as rams and bread.
Right.
Um, Aval haba bishvil hamizbeach, but that which comes for the altar, kibon par shehu lechitui hamizbeach, such as the bull which is for the purification of the altar, lo shamanu, we have not learned. Lecha, what?
Right. Lo Shamana, we haven't heard anything about that.
We haven't heard. We haven't heard. Lechach chutz rach mikra zeh. This is why this verse is needed. Umidrash Toras Kohanim Omer Kaparas Hamizbeach Chutz Recha. Midrash Toras Kohanim says that atonement of the Mizbeach was necessary. Shema His Nadav Ish Davar Gazal Bimeleches Ha Mishkan V'ha Mizbeach, lest a person donated a stolen item toward the work of the Mishkan and the Mizbeach.
Right. So Rashi's coming to bring this medrash as an explanation. What's the kapara for? What has gone wrong, right? That that a kapara is needed over here, right?
Right?
So if first of all, parchatas, the parchatas, a chatas is a korban which is usually brought on something which is done unintentionally, right?
Right.
That's for example, if a person has v'sholem, he was machalo Shabbos unintentionally. He was shoygeg. What we call shoygeg. He was unintentionally machalo Shabbos. He didn't realize it was Shabbos, or he didn't realize it was a malacha. So in that case, right, he has to bring a korban chatas. So classically speaking, a chatas is brought for something which is done, a sin which is done unintentionally.
Right.
Now, that being the case, so we should be able to apply that to this situation here as well. That the Klal Yisrael, like we've been reading the last two parshas, right? Truma, right, and this parsha of Tetzaveh, that they were very generous in giving to the necessary building materials required for the Mishkan and the Kelim and the Big Day Kahuna. They didn't hold anything back. So why is there now a question that maybe someone gave something of Gezel, right? That
They're competing
first
with,
of all, excuse me.
maybe the people are competing with each other.
Yeah. Okay. And so how would that increase the possibility of Gezel?
So he wants to outdo his neighbor, so he steals something and gives it so that he can make a show that he's giving more.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I understand that. However, we have to bear in mind that we're talking about this is the generation that came out of Mitzrayim. We're talking about within the first year of them coming out of Mitzrayim. They all came out with tremendous wealth. They all came out with what they call the Rechush Gadol, that when they left Mitzrayim, they took from the Egyptians, and then there was the booty, which they gathered at the shore of the Yam Suf after the Egyptians were drowned in the Yam Suf, right? So they all had tremendous wealth, right? It
Right.
wasn't that they were eating anything, that this one has
The
more,
more you want.
excuse me.
The more you have, the more you want.
Yeah, that's right. But again, it's all going to be melted. No, he's not going to. They're not going to hang up this necklace and say this is the necklace that Shlomo first donated. They're going to be melting all this stuff down, right? Right. All this stuff is going to be melted down.
In a
So it's
city.
going to be completely anonymous in the end of the whole situation. So the key to understanding this is that we're talking about chatas. And chatas is something which, again, as we mentioned, something is done b'shoigeg, meaning it's not intentional theft, right? Not intentional theft. It could be, right, that they gave something which would be considered theft, but it would be unintentional. They didn't do it intentionally, but there was some type of a unintentional theft involved, and that's how they acquired this um, gold or silver, whatever else might have been, to contribute for the building of the Mishkan. But it wasn't intentionally so that they wanted to do this. Something which was completely even unknown to them, right? Unknown. If they would, I would say that it's really very far-fetched to say that if they actually knew that they were going to uh, give something of actual theft, they probably would have refrained from doing that. I don't think they would have had that Yetzer Hara to give something that was gained through theft. And also, they had no need to gain anything through theft because they were all tremendously rich. Even though what you say is true, they have some, they want more, right? But here we're giving these things to the building, the construction of the Mishkan, and it's already been said many times that they did exactly as the Kadosh Baruch Hu stated, right? So I think the key in understanding what this Parsha is talking about is the concept of that it was done b'shoigeg, and that's indicated through the fact that they have to bring a chatas, which is a korban which is devoted to unintentional sins. Rather, if it's an intentional sin, there's another korban that has to be brought that would indicate that it was done intentionally. So I think that's something we can say to the merit of Klal Yisrael, that there was no hasasholom real thoughts that anyone would really be stealing something intentionally, but somehow sometimes mistakes happen, and it could be that the owners that they thought it was theirs and it's not theirs. Maybe they borrowed something from their neighbor and they forgot that they borrowed it, and then they gave it to the Mishkan. Some kind of things like that it wasn't there. What is uh, theft actually mean? Theft means that you're taking something that doesn't belong to you, right? It belongs to somebody else clearly, and you're using it, or in this case, you're giving it away, right? So that people may make a mistake and they think the object's theirs. Could be that there are a few cases of unintentional uh, giving of these gifts for the construction of the Mishkan and the Kalim and the Bigdei Kahuna. It could be that these things were given unintentionally, not by the real owner, and that would constitute Gezel, and it's all unintentional. And this is also something that reminds me of what the Svarim speak about. The Chavetz Chaim writes about this too, that you have to be very careful when you're building a base Knesset, right? When you're building a base Knesset, you have to make sure that all the building materials, all the construction is done in a proper way without any um, concerns that there might be some stolen goods involved in the construction. Because I think the Chafetz Chaim says it's probably based on Chazal that even if there's one nail of stolen material used for the building of a base Knesset, that could hold back the prayers of the whole congregation, for all time. That one nail of theft would be as powerful as holding back all the prayers from the congregation, because theft is a very, very serious thing. So here we want to make a conclusive cleansing and atonement for any possible negligence in terms of the ownership of the objects and materials that were given for the building of the Beis Hamikdash and the Kalim and the Bigdei Kahuna. Okay. Good. Let's continue on.
V'titach v'chitesa. You shall purify. Targum Onkelos translates this as dakai, and you shall cleanse. Lashon matnas damim hinasunim be'etz bei karui chitui. The application of blood with the finger is referred to as purification. Uma shachta oso, and you shall anoint it. B'shemen ha mishcha, with anointing oil. V'chol ha meshichos kemin kaf yud. All the anointings are performed in the shape of the Greek letter chi. Chi. I'm not sure what this letter is. Chi.
Yeah, that's I'm not sure that's a Greek letter. I'm not sure what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Okay, very good.
That's it for 36.
Very good. Okay, let's go now to the 37.
Okay, 37. Let's see, 37. Shiv'as yamim tichaper al hamizbeach v'kidashta oso v'haya hamizbeach kodesh kadashim kol hanogea b'mizbeach yikdash. So 7 days you shall atone al hamizbeach concerning the altar, the kidashta, and you shall consecrate it, also it, v'haya, and it shall be hamizbeach, that the altar shall be the kodesh, holy, kedashim, holy of holies, kol hanogea, whatever touches b'mizbeach, the altar, yikdash, shall become consecrated. So Rashi says, v'haya hamizbeach kodesh, the mizbeach shall be holy, uma hi kedusha so, and in what is its sanctity manifest? In that kol hanogea b'mizbeach yikdash, whatever touches the mizbeach shall become consecrated. Afilu karban pasul she'ala alav ki de show hamizbeach. Even an offering that's invalid that is brought upon it, the mizbeh, the altar makes it holy.
Right, it becomes simply by being brought upon, or even perhaps even just touching the mizbeach, it now has a certain holiness, sanctity towards it.
The hich shiro shalo yered, to render it fit, in that it should not be taken down from the mizbeach.
Right, once it's been brought up, even though it was brought up by a mistake, right now you can't take it down.
Right. Me.
That's an indication of the sanctity of the mizbeach. The sanctity of the mizbeach is indicated by these situations, whereas if something which was in essence not fit for the mizbeach, right, but it was brought there, so nevertheless, now that it's up there, you can't take it down.
Mitoch shne'emar kol hanogea v'gomer yikdash. Since it says, whatever touches, etc., shall become consecrated. Shomea ani bein roy bein she'eno roy. I could infer that it becomes holy whether it was fit or not. Kigon devar shalo haya pesulo bakodesh. This refers to an animal whose disqualification did not come about in the Beis Hamikdash. Kigon ha rovea v'hanir ba. For example, animals used for bestiality. Umuktzeh, and one set aside for idolatry. V'ne'vad, and one that was actually worshipped. V'hit refa, and an animal with certain injuries that lead to death. Kiyotze bahen, and similar.
Right, so these are cases of animals that they're invalid for sacrifices, but nevertheless, if for some mistake was made and it was brought on the mizbeach, because of the sanctity of the mizbeach, right, the invalid sacrifices shall still nevertheless not be taken down from mizbeach. That is Rashi started off at the beginning. That's an indication of the actual sanctity of the mizbeach itself.
Talmud Lomar, the Torah teaches us, V'zeh asher ta'aseh ha-simuch acharav. And this is what you shall offer. In the verse that immediately follows, Ma olah roy, just as an olah offering, which is the subject of the following verse, is fit to be sacrificed when it is brought to the Beis Hamikdash. Af al roy, af kol roy, so too anything which is fit, shenir'ah lo kavar, that is, that had already appeared before the altar while it was fit, v'nif sal Misheba La'azara, and became disqualified after it came to the courtyard, Kagon Halan. For example, something that was stayed overnight.
Right. So something that became puzzle in the morning, right?
Right. V'hayotze, and that which went out of the courtyard after slaughter. V'hatameh, and that which became impure. V'shenishchat b'machsheves chutz lizmano v'chutz limkomo, and that which was slaughtered with the thought of outside of its time and outside of its place.
Right. That's how you puzzle the korban to the thought of slaughtering it not in the proper time or not in the proper place.
Yotze Bahen, and the like. Meaning those things do not descend from the Mizbeach once they had been put upon it.
Right, right. And that's all an indication of the sanctity of the Mizbeach. In essence, the Mizbeach has the power to sanctify other things, even though they may not be kosher and they're actually invalid to be brought on Mizbeach. But once they're brought there, then they incur a certain amount of kedusha because they were simply brought to the Mizbeach.
Okay, that's the end of 39.
Right. Okay. So that's so good, I guess. Uh,
Where do we go from here?
yeah. Let's take a look over here and the by the eighth by the eighth by the eighth that would be in Chaf Ches Pasuk Vav. Chaf Ches Pasuk Vav.
Avches, Pasuk Vov. Avches, Vov. Vasu es ha-ephod zahav techeles v'argaman to la'as shani v'shesh mash zar ma'aseh choshev. They shall make the ephod of gold, turquoise wool, and purple wool, scarlet wool, and twisted linen, the work of an artist. So Rashi, oh wow, it's a long Rashi. Look at this. Wow, it's like 2 pages of Rashi. Okay, they shall make the ephod. If I were to come to explain the manufacture of the ephod and the choshen according to the order of the verses, their explanation would be split up into fragments.
Oh.
Reader would err in combining them. Therefore, I am writing first of their manufacturer as it is in all of its detail, so the reader will be able to run through it quickly. And afterwards, I will explain the fashioning of these garments in the order of the verses.
So first of all, you see from Rashi that Rashi is teaching us a big lesson over here. When you're going to explaining something, you have to be very careful to explain it in a way that mistakes won't be made from your explanation. Right?
Right.
Very, very important point.
The ephod was made like an apron worn by women who ride horses. He would gird it from behind him, opposite his heart. Behind him, opposite his heart.
Meaning it would be tied, there would be ties, and the ties would be brought around behind him, and the tie would be made adjacent to his heart, on his back.
But if it's behind him, and adjacent to his heart in the back.
Right.
I see. Okay, below his elbows.
Right.
Width was like the width of a man's back and more, and it would reach down to his heels. Oh, it's very long.
Yeah, that's right. We go all the way down.
So it was basically in the front. I have a picture here, which it looks like it was open in the front.
Not sure.
Let me show you my picture.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
Is that a good picture, or you think they're incorrect?
I'm not sure. I mean, it could be the I'll tell you, let's continue on with the Rashis. We'll see how he integrates this.
Okay. Let's see, down to his heels. The cheshev, its belt, was connected at its top along its width by weaver's work, and it extended to either side beyond the apron-like part. The belt. Okay. And to encompass and to gird the Kohen Gadol with it. The shoulder straps were attached to the choshen, to the cheshev. The cheshev. So the cheshev is the breastplate?
I believe so. I think that's what they're calling it, no?
Yeah, that makes sense, because that the picture shows that the straps that go over his shoulders have cords that come down from them to the breastplate.
Right, that's right, correct.
One on the right and one on the left, set apart from each other by the size of the Kohen Gadol's shoulders. At the Kohen's back, at the two ends of the width of the apron. Set apart from each other by the size of the Kohen's shoulders. At the Kohen's back. Oh, his shoulders at the back, at his back. Okay, I get it. And the two ends of the width of the apron, and the two ends of the width of the apron. Oh, the two ends are attached to the apron, I guess, in the back, at the widest part of the back, I guess. When he would stand them straight, they would stand on his two shoulders. They are like two bands made from the material of the ephod, sufficiently long to stand them straight next to his neck on either side. And they were bent over in front of him, a bit below his shoulders. The shohem stones are set into them, one at the right shoulder strap and one at the left shoulder strap. The settings are put at the ends of the shoulder straps in front of his shoulders. The two golden cables are inserted into two rings that are on the choshen.
Right, so this is important, right? You have to be able to fasten it onto something, right? You can't just hang there and dangle all the time, right?
Right, right. So the golden cables are those things that look like ropes
Yeah, apparently, right.
that go from the shoulder strap down to the breastplate. Now here it calls it the choshen, and above it was calling it the chalev. Are they the same thing? The cheshev. Cheshev was spelled chet shin vav, and choshen is spelled chet shin vav. Oh, it's the same spelling. It's chet shin. I'm sorry. The cheshev is chet shin bet, and the choshen is chet shin vav.
Right. I'm not sure why that's a change. Um, why should that be a change? Um, Ephod, Cheshev.
Because above it says the two shoulder straps were attached to the cheshev.
Right.
Here it says two golden cables are inserted into the rings of the choshen. Seems like it's the same thing.
I think so. The question is, why does it change its name? Um, I forget okay. Mm, I'm not sure. Maaseh Choshev, Cheshev. Maaseh Choshev. It's called the Maaseh Choshev. Maaseh the Cheshev the Cheshev Ephodosoi. See in Parsha Ches,
Uh, Haseches.
in verse number 8.
Yeah,
Cheshev Ephod.
yeah. The cheshev with which he is beautified, which is above it, like its work of it shall be gold, turquoise wool, and purple wool, and scarlet wool, and twisted linen.
Right.
And what is it above? It's above.
Maaseh Cheshev, if you look in the, see that the is the Cheshev is like it's, I guess I would call it maybe, what is it called? What's it called? It's when they make a begodim, make fabrics and yarn. Uh, Needlework. You need to do the needlework. This was made of needlework.
Right,
That's emphasizing, I think, the way it was constructed.
right. So it was made out of wool?
Not necessarily different types. Those are the different names of the things used over here. Yeah, different types of fabrics.
Hmm. Okay. So the two golden cables are inserted into two rings that are on the Choshen at the two ends of its width on its upper side, one on the right and one on the left. The two ends of the right chain are inserted into the setting at the right. What does that mean? The two ends of the right chain are inserted into the setting at the right. And similarly, the two ends of the left chain are inserted into the setting in the left shoulder strap. So there's two ends to these chains, I guess. Two ends on each end. On the top end of the chain, there's two ends that go into the shoulder strap. That must be how it attaches. I don't know if they're tied or how they're attached. Thus, the Choshen hangs from the settings of the ephod over the Kohen Gadol's heart in front of him.
Right. You see, there's a specific order to how these things have to be constructed. That's what Rashi said at the very beginning, that if you don't go according to this order, you're going to get mixed up. It has to be followed. It's like certain things have to be constructed first.
Right. Even going this way, it's confusing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just a little bit hard to. I have to kind of read it slowly and look at the picture to to get a sense of what exactly he's saying.
right. So that's it's like it's a bit abstract. You're right. Let's see. I want to jump to Pasuk over here. Um, Chaftal, Chavtes, Chavdalid, Chavtes, Chavdalid.
Chaftes, Chafdalet, Chaftes. Okay, Chaftes, Chaf Dalid, Gimel Dalid. Visamta Hakol al Kaper Aharon Va'al Kaper Vanav Vehe Nafta Osam Tenufa Lifnei Hashem. And you shall place it all on the palms of Aaron and on the palms of his sons, and you shall wave them as a waving before Hashem. Rashi says, on the palms of Aaron, etc., and you shall wave. Both of them are engaged in the waving. The owner and the Kohen. How is this done? The Kohen puts his hand under the hand of the owner and waves the offering while it
That's
rests
right.
on the hand of the
Right.
owner.
right? And this corresponds very closely to what we do with the lulav on Sukkot.
Uh-huh. How so?
We'll see. Continue on with the Rashi.
Okay. By the way, Rabbi Levitt canceled the class today because he has a test. So
Oh,
we don't have to worry about it ending exactly on time.
okay, very good. We'll go a few minutes. I have someone else afterwards, but we can go a few minutes bit.
Okay, no problem. Uh, in this offering, Aaron and his sons owners and Moshe the Kohen. He moves the parts back and forth.
Right. Right. So this in the, Rashi's telling you here this was a reversal, meaning Moshe, even though he was not a Kohen, but in for this aspect of the inauguration, someone had to be taking the part of the Kohen. And here, when you want to inaugurate Aaron and his sons, so therefore Moshe officiated as a Kohen.
Right. Um, for him to whom the four winds of the world belong.
That's reference to a Kadosh Baruch Hu. You're gonna wave it. This waving is going to be in back and forth, and you're doing this L'mi Baruchas Olam Shalom, to he who the four directions belong to, meaning that's a reference to a Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Right. Oh, so this is the part that's like the lulav.
Yes, exactly. Right.
But the lulav, there's six directions. This is only four.
Yeah, at this point, right here, we don't seem to be going up and down. Correct.
Waving holds back and annuls punishments and harmful winds. Um, raising,
That you see also by the lulav. That statement is also made in the Gemara by lulav as well.
right. Um, raising means he lifts and lowers the parts for him to whom the heaven and the earth belong. And raising holds back harmful dew.
Right. So it's winds and dews that could be harmful. So this works as a shmira, a protection for that.
How can dew be harmful?
Um, I guess if there's too much, if it comes at the wrong time, it could. For example, let's say you have the wheat in the early summer, and it's time for the wheat to start drying out, right? So you can harvest it. If there's too much dew, it might add too much moisture to the wheat, and it may not dry out properly. It may even begin perhaps even to mold or to rot.
Ah, uh-huh, uh-huh,
So so you want the dews to come at the proper time and not interfere with the proper ripening and drying of the crops.
right.
Let's see, Rashi. Oh, okay, good. So fine. Uh, good. All right, that brings us to that Rashi. I just wanted to mention that Rashi to show you the correspondence to the lulav.
Right.
Okay, good. So maybe we'll stop here. Okay, well, thank you, appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Rabbi. Have a good
All
shop.
right. Thank you. Have a good Shabbos as well, and hope to see you beginning of the week.
Amen.
Okay, great.
All
Okay,
right,
well, shalom, bye.
bye-bye.